is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Misfire. I'm going to be giving you a quick rundown with some crazy hair because I've been wearing a hoodie and stuff because it's cold as hell. My hands are like just gross. It's like 30 degrees out and it was snowing a little bit earlier. No, the Nova was not out in the snow. The Dually was, but Nova wasn't. That's what we're talking about, is the Nova. So, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what the plan is this winter on the Nova and what is going to be happening very soon for next year in preparation for us to be going fast. Maybe not as fast as we were last year, but just as pretty fast and pretty competitive. Definitely a lot better than 283. So, the Nova currently has the numbers matching 283 that was out of the car with a 704 and 385 rear gear. Best of this combination is a 1588, which for a bone stock 283 with factory heads, I mean literally the only thing we've done to it, it has an intake, which is a CB3X, which is like the 60s equivalent of a Performer. So what the Nova's gonna be getting is, for this next year, I'm probably gonna pull the engine out, and there's a trailer over there. It has a 307 in it, which I'll probably do an entire video just on that 307 just to talk about it because it's a very funny engine. It's named Jose. That's the name of the engine. We'll go into that later too. But that engine has ran a best of a 1380, 1370 in my dad's 72 Nova when his friend had it like 25 years ago. It ran 1380s, high 13s. As a bracket car forever, and it probably has as many passes as this car does. It probably has way more, honestly. I mean, it was every Wednesday night just running that car. A lot of wins with that engine. So the plan is, I don't have the 350 in here, but I have a lot of work to do on the 350 that I want to do anyway. I don't know how much we'll end up doing just because of time and money and constraints. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a torque converter regardless. It'll be like a 2800 stall converter for the Nova, for that 700R4. And the 307 also allows me to not have to pull the transmission apart and rebuild it. Not that there's anything wrong with the transmission, but I want to go through it just so that it's safe, and I don't want to, grenade the transmission on the starting line or anything stupid. So before the 350 goes back in, I'm going to rebuild the transmission. The 307 allows me not to have to do that, so that's a positive. Second thing is, I'm not certain on what happened with the 350 anyway. Nothing was necessarily wrong. It just, it had so bad a lifter tick, it sounded like a diesel tractor. And metal went through everything, so I was going to redo the bearings and just put it back together. But I'm kind of looking at it now like, okay, I don't really know what happened, so we'll see kind of what it looks like and then go from there. What I'm probably going to end up doing is buying aluminum heads and just try to run that. And try to get a roller cam and some other stuff to try to get the car down to the 12s, hopefully maybe the year after. So in the meantime, I don't want to be driving around a 283 that makes 200 horsepower. It's fun and it's a good driver. It gets like 20 miles a gallon. But for racing, because I want to do bracket racing at Bristol and stuff this year, so in order to do that, I have a 280 comp cam sitting right here. Let me see if it'll focus. There you go. 280, 280, 230, 230, 480, 480. So that cam was in Jose originally when he ran 13s. That was the cam that he had in him. That is a brand new cam. So not that one specifically, but he'll have the same cam that he ran with before. Stock rocker arms. I'll just put stock rockers. I have roller rockers somewhere around here, but I'm not going to use them for the 307. I don't need to do that. Secondly, I have another FI Tech system. There's a 600 horsepower classic system up there that I'm going to be using on the car. So that'll help with fuel and try to keep everything nice and drivable still. And then, the other thing that we're going to be doing is I have a camel hump. So there's two different head selections I might run with. He had like 80s Camaro GT heads on him before, because that's first off what we could find, and that brought the compression ratio down a little bit, so he was running like 9-to-1 compression, so he made a little bit more power that way. But I have a set of 64cc 194s. I have the 202s that came off the Nova originally that were on the 350 that it ran 1340s with. And then we have a set of 305 heads that were circle track heads that we have that had 202 valves cut into them for circle track racing. So that whole spec head thing, but you put huge valves in them and you just run it. So those are my 3 options. I know for a fact you can put 194 valves on a 307 because the way the bore and stuff is on those, that is the size that will fit. I'm not sure if a 202 will fit just because of clearancing and stuff. I don't know if you have to relief the block or not, but for a fact, and I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to see if we can put the 202s on it, which that might be a little bit too much, but it'll be fine. So we'll try to run the fuelies on it with the Offenhauser intake that I have, which I'll show you that too. We'll try to run that with the 280 comp cam, and so you watch a previous video, you'll see why I have these laying out, filming in batches and scheduling everything. But so this is a Portasonic intake I got. It has the front oil fill, so I can either put a freeze plug in that and close it off, or I can actually use it. I don't really know yet. But so that's going to be kind of what's happening with that. So it'll look completely old school looking. It'll even have a small balancer, so it'll be like a 283 stroker, because that's all a 307 is. So we'll just say Jose is turning into a 283, because I'll put my 283 valve covers on it. So then he'll just be totally incognito. And then bust off like a 1380, which would be killer. So I think the original combination of that car was like, it weighed like 2,900 pounds. So they completely gut shooted the car. So my car's gonna be a little bit heavier. I think he had a better gear than I do, and the converter might have been a little bit better. But so that might put me at like 14 O's, but still, that's very fast and way faster than a 1580. So that's kind of the goal for this next year, just so I can go out and run sportsman stuff and have some fun doing that. And then in the meantime, build the 350. And then over winter, I'll pull the 700R4 out, and we'll rebuild the 700R4 with Corvette servos and all the good stuff. Put that behind the 350, and we'll go out and run like 12s. Hopefully in 2024, we'll go out and run 12s and have some fun with the car, and may even do some index, like, drag and drive event stuff. That would be sick. So, but that also gets Nova driving with a little bit more pep, a little bit more fun, and in the meantime. And so we'll see what happens. Big plans, a lot of stuff going on. Shop's happening. So I'm gonna try to get all my material and parts and stuff collected, and then we'll go from there. So until then, I will see you guys later. Peace.